Hey everyone, I am so thankful and appreciative that you are here for this course. This is one of the most requested ones I receive, and it is a whole new way to look at hosting an open house and a way to automate a few things and not only find the buyer for the open house, but get more buyer leads automatically into your kvCORE, nurture them while you are still at the open house, not have to print papers or do all that you've done. If this is for you, you are going to love it. I know many agents who've had incredible success using this method, and I hope that continued success carries out for you. So think about this situation. With an open house, maybe you print out a bunch of flyers. Maybe you do a lot of ads. Maybe you have them sign in, the old school way, which is totally effective if it works for you. Maybe you use the kvCORE Open House app, but that also has a few limitations because now we are getting into the season where there may be more and more people at an open house. And so how do you handle that? If there are 3 or 5 people coming in at a time, do you have 5 tablets for them or 5 laptops for them to sign in? Or do you miss them? How would you like a way where they could scan a QR code on their phone? So they have their telephone right here and they're holding it. And I don't have one right here, so I can't. This is a fake phone. But they have their cell phone. They scan a QR code to sign in. They sign in with their email and with their cell phone number. And then all of a sudden, as soon as they do that, you provide them with all the features of the home right on their phone while they are walking around and touring. Then at the end of the open house, when they are done, you can ask them, you'll know if they're interested or not. And you could also say, how would you like a list of other open houses in and around this area? They love that, and I'll show you how to do that too. So there are quite a few steps in this, but let's look at the situation. You know how I coach. I like to train on situations. So if you are hosting an open house, then what? And how can kvCORE help you? Well, then you want to secure a buyer, and you want to generate new leads that automatically go into your system. And again, you can nurture them while you are still at that open house, and you don't have to transfer anything from a piece of paper. They are going to get stuff automatically. And then here's the beauty. Say they're not interested in this one. You can follow up in the next day or the next 2 days because you have all of their contact information, and you send them, hey, here are other homes that check the boxes that you told me about. And you just stay front of mind and get everything dialed in. So here's what we're going to do. Hopefully here within the next 17, 16 minutes, we are going to learn how to promote your open house. We are going to build 2 squeeze pages very quickly, very easily. One will be for the specific open house, and the other will be for all the open houses that are in that area. We are going to build 1 landing page, just 1 landing page, and that will capture their email and possibly their cell phone if you require it or not. And we are going to generate a QR code from that landing page because that's the QR code they will use when they come in and you welcome them. Please scan this to sign in. They sign in, and at that point, you send them all the information automatically. We preset it, and it'll be all the features of that home. Then we will create a very simple and powerful automation that sends them a text message. I usually send them 45 minutes after they register, and they are either on their way home, on their way to lunch, or on their way to another open house, and all of a sudden they get a text message from you saying, I appreciate you being at the open house. Here's a link again so you have all the data in front of you. Have an awesome day, and I cannot wait to help you in this journey. They get that automation while maybe they're at another open house, and maybe another agent is trying to secure them as a buyer. But you stay front of mind because you are the resource, not only providing them information on your open house, but also giving them that opportunity to know of others within that area. And the biggest picture of all, if you could step back and look, we want to send people to your website. The more people who go to your website, the better. And this is a way to do so many things. Not only get a buyer for the house, not only get new leads, but it also builds up your rankings in the search engines because you're always sending people back to your site. So if you're ready to get going, I'm going to open up kvCORE and we are going to get after it. All right, now we're into kvCORE, and here is the first thing we are going to do. We want to, as we talked about, promote your listing. So we're going to open up Lead Engine, and we're going to go to build a squeeze page. And at this point, we're going to open it up, and we want to do here a single property squeeze page. These are very effective. Just even if it's not for an open house, these are effective to not only generate new leads, but buyer interest. So for this one, all you have to do, remember, single property squeeze page, enter in the address or the MLS number of your open house. The source, if you're going to put it on Facebook, you can definitely do that, or Google or LinkedIn or Instagram, however you want to do it. You can label it that way. So say we want to post it on Facebook. We want to add a hashtag because we want to know when people come into this, what are they doing? On a single property, I recommend you do a hashtag just with the address of that home. Create a new hashtag. It's all one word. So Magic Canyon Road. Boom. Hit enter, and now this is hashtag, because after 2 views, if you choose to do the default, or you could do it immediate. If you put this out there and you want to get rid of some looky-loos, but maybe take the risk of people not seeing it, you could put it at 1. I think doing it at 2 is fine. If they're interested in this, they'll be interested. If they're not, they're going to look for another property, and then when they click on another property, they'll be forced to register. So that's all this is. A single property squeeze page will generate the link. I like to use the top link. It doesn't really matter. This one's shortened just for Twitter or other, maybe put it in an email. But in an email, you could click here and then link that click here to either one of these links. But I like to test these out. So I'm going to copy this to the clipboard, and I'm going to go up here to my website, and I'm going to paste it in here just to confirm that it's the right one, and it should be this one right here. And so it's loading, and it will be forcing me to register because I've already looked at one. So I'm just going to register real quick to get through this so I can look at it, because I've already looked at one other property, and now it's asking me to look at 2. So you can see up top the timing is 2, and that's what we set. But because I just looked right before I started recording to pull up this property, that's what it is. So that single property squeeze page is right here, and we have it all set. So you can do a couple of things with this. You could copy either one of these links and go into Facebook, and you post that link right into Facebook, as you probably know. And if not, if this is new to you, this is an awesome resource. And so it brings up my website, gives this. It's a friend of mine who's listing this property. My listings are under contract right now at the time of this recording, so I wanted to use one that's actually live. Once this part posts right here, and this is a clickable link, then you want to go back in here and type in your magic words or chat GPT and say open house this Saturday, and get people's attention, call to action right there. And then you want to have another call to action beneath it, so your text right here, blah, 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 blah. And then another click below, do something like that, click below to learn more. Then an important part of your Facebook posts is to add some hashtags. Add hashtags that will be seen throughout your area. So if it's the neighborhood, I could do a hashtag, I live in Rapid City, South Dakota, so I could do Rapid City and put a hashtag. But you want to put probably 3 to 5 hashtags at the bottom of all your Facebook posts to get seen more. So that's one thing. That's how we promote our listing. We talked about that. We're going to put it out there. If you advertise it on a Monday, I would repost it on a Wednesday and repost it on Friday. Get it out there. You can do too much. And Facebook might say, that's a lot, but think about it. Not everybody's looking on Monday, and so Monday, Wednesday, Friday, put that same post out. You have that link. It's all built in your kvCORE. You know that it's this link because it's called 6185 Magic Canyon Road is your hashtag. And when you go to your history of your generated squeeze pages, you pull that one up, copy that link. You don't have to remake this ever again. Copy it up, paste it into Facebook. Okay, so that is step 1. Step 1 is let's promote it. Let's start creating some energy. And while that is working, then you can work on this. So the next thing we are going to do while we are still in here is we're going to create a multi-property squeeze page. So you don't have to go anywhere. Stay right here. Also, quick helpful hint, and I know I've mentioned it in other videos, open up 2 kvCOREs at the same time. If you're creating a lot back and forth, so you don't have to close out or switch pages, just open up another another tab, another window. I'm losing my voice, so I apologize. It's sneezing season, allergies. But Open up another tab, and then you don't have to go back and forth. Okay, time back on. We're back in play. So now the next thing we're doing, we created one squeeze page, which was a single property. The next thing is a multi-property of open houses within that area. So that was in Rapid City. So you go multi-property squeeze page, and now you select your city. So whatever your city is there, and I'll pull it up from your MLS, Rapid City. Now we're going to go to listing types. You can choose whatever you want. Most of them are single family, maybe condos and townhomes too. In this case, just for the time, I'll do a single family. All you have to do next, go down to the very bottom of your squeeze page, multi-property squeeze page, and you're going to select the open house. And that now tags it with open house. So it will create a page, single family properties in Rapid City that have open houses coming up. Now this one you are just going to have at the end of your open house, or not at the end of it, but when people leave and say, hey, would you like a link to all the open houses? And we'll create a QR code for this page. And you might just want to print that out on one card, or maybe multiple cards, maybe 15 cards, and hand it to them as a thank you and say, here are other open houses. But if they're very interested in yours, maybe not send them to another one. So you don't need to worry about the Facebook as far as the source or Google. You don't even need to add a hashtag if you don't want to, because this is one where you're doing it. But what you want to do, because this one, you are sending them a list of all the open houses. They have already registered with you because they signed in, so you don't need to ask for them to do that more. So you might want to change the property views to 10 or 50 or never, because you want them to look through more and more. They are already in your system because they signed up. So you put it there, and we generate the link. And now let's go look at that link. Let's see what it looks like and make sure it's pulling up the right one. And we will do that. Insert Jeopardy music. So right now, at the time of this recording, there are 13 open houses coming up the upcoming weekend in Rapid City. Now this is fun. This is at the beginning part of the week. And so one thing you can do with this, when you have this link, maybe send it to your database. Maybe send it to your buyers who are interested in certain price range in this area, and tell them, make a family game out of this. Every time you open up this link, it'll always be updating. Have your kids guess how many open houses there are, because on a Monday there might be 1, on a Tuesday there might be 13, by Friday there might be 60 or 100 or even more, and it gets the family involved in part of this whole journey of buying a new home and moving, and it keeps everybody on the same page, and it's a fun way. So the kids start guessing, before I click this link to look at open houses, how many are there? Boom, and they have a lot of fun. So this open house link worked, so we're going to save this part until the very end. And if I forget to go back to it, because I'm getting old, this is one you could click anywhere on here, right click, and you can create a QR code for this page that easy. For some reason mine does dinosaurs, but that QR code, if you copied it, downloaded it, and just put it on a card, as a handwritten thank you for being here, here are the other open houses, then they scan it and they can leave. Or you could just print one out and say, hey, before you leave, if you want to look at other open houses, scan this, and it'll pull it up right on their phone. So that's a lot. I know I'm saying a lot, and I'm trying to keep this under time, but there's so many cool steps we're going to do. So I'm going to go back right now to this previous page, because this is the open house that we are promoting. We want to use this page for our landing page, and that's important. So we are going to take that URL up here, this whole URL up here, and we're going to copy that and just hold on to it. So now we've created 2 squeeze pages, the single property and then the open house squeeze page. Now what we have to do, and if I could ask you all to raise your hand and say it, what would you say? Yes, a landing page. We need to make a landing page for that open house. So I want to go back. Well, I'll show you what we'll do. We'll go lead engine, build a landing page. And I won't do a whole tutorial on landing pages right now. There are others out there. But we want this to be lead generation. We are going to make it as simple as possible. This landing page is so people register right when they walk in. We'll have a QR code that goes right to this on your flyer. Welcome to this open house. They'll scan it. They will be asked to sign in, but we want to keep it simple. We don't want to put too much information here. However, a landing page, if you think of it as an airport, you have to check in at the airport. So they're going to check in here, and then we're going to send them off to another destination, and that's down here. and we are going to send them to all the features of the home, of this home of the open house. So we have that URL. We want to send them back to this page on your site, not to your MLS site. We want to drive them traffic back to your site. So we're going to go back to that landing page, and the first thing we're going to do up top in this URL after login is we are going to paste that link to send them back to that page. Now, we want to add a hashtag because we want to know where do they get this information when they go into our system. So I recommend and it's up to you, however you want to label. Hashtags are labels. They're not like the social media hashtags. How do you want to label these people? So I would do open house, and then I would just do the address of where we're sending them. So OH for open house, 6185 Magic Canyon. And that then would be assigned to them once they fill this out. As far as this next button, submit button text, that's down here. And if you look at some of my other classes, I teach you how to change the color of that button so it's not that bright orange, or maybe you like that bright orange. Submit button text. So I'm just going to say check out these features and let them know when you sign in, and maybe the sellers require it. You know, the sellers are requiring everybody registers. When you register and sign in, you will instantly receive all of the features of the home. Okay, and what we're sending them is this page, which is your page. It goes back to you, so it identifies you as the buyer agent right there, and then it gives them all the details they need to know while they are walking around that page. And so that's where we're sending them at this airport. Now on the landing page, you want to just keep something simple right here. And remember, if you double click, it goes away and you have to start all over. But, you know, welcome to Magic Canyon. How about that? Welcome to Magic Canyon. And then this one beneath it, again, do what's best for you. You know how you work. You know how your clientele likes to see things, but keep it simple. You know, please register and enjoy this open house. Keep it that simple. Then to double click and get rid of these, or to get rid of these, you double click. So I'm going to double click on each and get rid of them. And we're going to really keep this simple here. And then do we want that background? We can add on an open house a custom background. So all you need is the MLS ID, and that is right here. So I'm going to copy that MLS ID, and I go back to the landing page, and where it says background, if you click on that and scroll to the bottom, it says primary MLS image. And all you have to do is then put that in there, and it will instantly change to that property, so that's in the background. And just real quickly on landing pages, you can change the theme to light or dark. I prefer the dark one because I think the text shows up better and it shines better. And you can make, if you want them to get their cell, I would in this case, because we are going to text them. So require that and just tell them, you know, the sellers, you know, are requesting that we have the information for everyone. Plus, and you can tell them, I'm going to text you some really cool things about this place. Leave it at that. Okay, so there is your landing page. It's that simple. If you want, you can double click and get rid of your logo. It's up to you how you want to keep it simple. And you can also go back and change this and be real personable and say, you know, I appreciate you being here. And please ask, you know, any questions, something like, you know, do it, and then sign your name. So do something like that, and that's on their thing. So, boom. Please register and enjoy this open house. You got this, you have their email, you have their cell phone because we want to be able to text them. We have the MLS image in the background. We are sending them to, when they click here, they're going to go to this other page. Once you hit save in a landing page, you can't go back. So triple check everything. But you can see it's not that hard to build. We're keeping it pretty simple. So I'm going to say okay. And now it'll create, here's the landing page. Here's what they will see. And you can see I have it changed to my custom colors. So that button turned from orange to blue, and it says check out these features. We need to save this link, and we can also find it within our kvCORE under the history of landing pages if we were in the landing page part. So we're going to take this link, and there are two things you can do with this link. This is important. You need to create a QR code for this page, because when they come in to register, they have to scan it to send them here. You can right-click on this landing page and your system will say create a QR code for this page. Or there are plenty of custom QR code generators out there, and many of your agencies may already have one. I like to use one that has the shape of a house on it. And all you need to do, though, if you create a QR code in a generator, is take this whole link and it'll make a code for it. Or you can just right click and take one here. So I will just say that, create a QR code for this page, and I'm going to copy it or download it. I'd suggest downloading it too. Okay, so now we have our squeeze pages. We have our landing pages, and I went ahead just for time's sake, and I created a flyer, real quick and easy one. You know, yours are probably way better and have your picture and your contact info on them, but for the sake of the time of this. So you have a flyer now. This is your flyer for your open house, and this is to get them to sign in. So there's the QR code I had, but I could put that other one I just, copied and pasted right in there. So I'll do that if you want to see what I did. So I could just put this one right there. That's how easy it is when you copy it from that page, and you can pop it in there and size it up, and it fits right in that white spot. Make it fit just like that. So now if they go to scan that, and I always double check. So I take my phone and I'm going to just make sure that QR code worked, and I click on it, and boom, takes me right to, I don't know if you can see because it's probably going to get blurry, but it takes me right to that sign-in page. Okay, so that worked. So now all I have to do, instead of printing out 50 flyers or 25, whatever you get out of your place, now all I have to do is print out this flyer and maybe 3 of them. I like to put one in the welcoming area right as they walk in, one in the kitchen and somewhere else in case somebody misses it if it's crowded. But you ask them, please scan to sign in. So now we have our flyer built, and that flyer takes them, and I'll show you that landing page. I'll register here real quickly, and I'll just put in a fake number, and I'll check out these features. So this is, imagine they scanned it. This pops up on their phone, just like right here. Pops up on the phone. Check out these features. I want to make sure it works. You should always have a test account in your system, and bam, it worked. So now they have all this information at their fingertips while they tour the home. Makes sense? I hope it's awesome. It's a great way, especially if you have a lot of people at open houses. I do like the kvCORE open house app, but if you have a lot of people coming in maybe at the same time, not everybody's going to register, and not everybody's going to take the time to write things down. This way they do it simply. You do not get their name because our landing pages don't provide that yet. They're working on that. But you can always ask their name and write it down, and you'll know who they are, and you can look them up too. So now they have this. They're walking around the house, taking a look at the house. Maybe there are a lot of people there, and you can't answer questions at the same time for everybody, but they have this. In the meantime, because they've already registered, now it goes into your kvCORE, and it comes into your contacts. So now you have their email and their cell phone in your contacts. So what is the next step? Here is the difference maker in all of this. The next step is we need to go to a smart campaign, and we need to develop a quick campaign. So you click over here, kind of on the airplane looking thing, click on smart campaigns, and that takes you to this page. You can do 2 things for this. One, you could create a template text, and then we'll just add it to the campaign. Or you can just create a brand new campaign and add it quickly. We're going to go to templates, because this will help you in the long run, because you'll always have it in your system. So we clicked on the templates tab. We're going to go to the far right side, add a template, and we're going to do a text template. And we are going to call this text template, put an asterisk first. That's just a helpful hint. If you haven't seen it in the other videos, before you give it a name, if you put an asterisk, and I like to do my initials first, that puts everything you create with an asterisk at the top, because kvCORE sent us a bunch of great templates, but the ones you create, we want those to be at the top so they're easier to find. So I will do my initials, star, and then my initials, open house, and I'll just put Magic Canyon. Okay, that's a template name. They don't see that, but this is for us, and I'll show you why in a minute. So then the content, I would just say something simple, whatever sounds best for you, but this is what I do. I appreciate your time at our open house today at Magic Canyon. Always reemphasize the address so that stays front of mind. As you spend the rest of your day, the rest of your day thinking about all the great possibilities for you and your family. Please know you can reach out to me with any questions. Just something that simple. Now, this is coming from your smart number built into your system, but because they are in your kvCORE, if they decided to text you back, it would go to you. If they tried to call you back, it would possibly go into the round robin. So here's a way around that. Please feel free, and do this on a separate line, please feel free to text or call my personal cell. They love that. Personal cell, if you don't have your own smart number, if you just have the company one, this is what I suggest to do. Please feel free to text or call my personal cell at, and we'll just go 555-555-5555. Okay. What that does, though, when they receive this text, this part will be a hyperlink. So they could actually, when they receive this text, click on it to text you that way. Or they could respond to this in a text. But if they call you, you run that risk. So some people have said, this is my business line, so please feel free to text me. You know, they love that. People love that. They love that you give out their personal one. Okay, then you just say, great to meet you, and can't wait to help with your journey. And then sign your name. Because the texts don't always do it. They do put a little statement underneath to unsubscribe, but this just personalizes it more. You could also then, beneath this, go back in and put the link to that home, that short link of it, back in there so they have it. But here's what we're going to do with this. So we called this ATS Open House Magic Canyon. We're going to add that template. Okay, and the reason we do it on a template is because then we can copy it and clone it for the next open house you have. Now we want to go back to My Campaigns, and we are going to add a new campaign. And the important part of that campaign, and I forgot to write this down. That is a huge mistake on my end, but I'll explain to you what it is in a sec, because we can figure it out quickly. So we need to go back to, because we need to have a trigger for this. So maybe this is a blessing that it happened this way. So we're going to say, yes, for sure, we're going to get out of there. We're going to go back to our landing pages and figure out what, oops, hit the wrong button there too. Andrew. We're going to go back to all lead engine tools. And here in this part in your landing pages, select your domain and look at the past landing pages, because we have to match up that hashtag we chose. And we chose this hashtag right here, OH6185 Magic Canyon. And I apologize for not saying that earlier. That's on me. But we want to copy and paste that hashtag, because now when we go into the Smart campaign and add a new campaign, we're going to say the hashtag is, and we're going to put that exact one in. Boom. Right? For some reason it took those spaces. We want to get rid of those. Now we can hit enter, and it will have this gray and X right there. So now anytime somebody signs in on their phone, right? They sign in on their phone, enter their email, enter their cell, boom, OH6185 Magic Canyon goes into our kvCORE, and it's going to start this campaign. That's all you have to do to trigger it there. Scroll to the bottom and we hit next. You don't have to worry about this. And this will be for a buyer and maybe a seller too. You never know. Hopefully both. And then in the campaign name, we want to do the exact same thing. Star or asterisk, initials, open house, Magic Canyon. And in the description, that is just for you. So you could say this is the quick text to visitors of this open house. Right? Just so you know what it is. Now we're going to hit next. And this just gives us a final summary. This is scoped for Andrew Shaw. It runs 4 agents. That's who you are. It starts when the hashtag is this, and we match that up with that landing page. That's key. Designed for a buyer. There's a campaign name. It tells us what it is, and we're going to hit finish. All right, so now it's generating that ATS open house. And so sometimes what you have to do, it's not always there. So if you hit the refresh button up top by your URL, you will be able to find that. And here's why I recommend the asterisk first. So if I just type in that asterisk and ATS, oops, it will pull up, if I hit search, it will pull up the ones I have in place. So I want to find the one that is Open House Magic Canyon. And there it is right there. And you can see we don't have anything in it yet. So now you want to select that, click on the blue part, and it opens up the campaign. We want to add an action. And everything looks good there. We'll go over that in a minute. Add an action, and we are going to do a text. And here's why we created that in a template. Let me move my ugly mug over there. In that template here, because we already did it, if we do star ATS, and all of a sudden it populates. ATS Open House, Magic Canyon. I click on that. My text is done, and it's there. And I can reuse that for others and just change the address and change what I need. Okay, does that make sense on the template? Thumbs up if it does. I wish I could see you. Now we're going to call this one Text 1 or Open House Text 1. You could do either one. Open House Text 1. That's all we're going to put because we may want to add more to this if we get a lot of people. The from part is from you to the contact, and then here's the key. If you run it immediately, they might get a text instantly and know that it's, just automated, generated. And you want them to be looking at all the details and features of the home. So what I recommend, and it's totally up to you, but I think 45 minutes is a great number, and a lot of other people do that too. So instead of choosing run immediately, you select minutes, and then over here you type 45 and hit enter. And now at 45 minutes after they register, whenever they register, if your open house is from 1 to 3 and they register at 1, at 1:45-ish, they will get this text. And it'll usually be after they leave. It's rare that they're there for 45 minutes. If it's a monster home, maybe bump it out a little bit longer. Smaller home, maybe go down to 35 minutes. But this is a good number. Okay, so our first action, as soon as they register, this campaign will start. We'll tell it to start. And they will receive this text, usually when they're driving away or at another open house or at lunch thinking about the place, and then you are front of mind. So you hit save here. And now we want to up here, so the hashtag is this. Anytime that hashtag comes in, and it will come in as soon as they register on their phone before they get the features of the property. That hashtag goes in the system and it triggers this campaign. And we want to turn it on, and it'll ask us, are we positive? Yep, we are sure we want to turn that on. Okay, is that campaign active yet? No, we need to go back to right up in the left, all my campaigns. And this is key as you get going, and we're going to go back to that one, Open House Magic Canyon, this one, and make sure that this button is on. Okay, now that button is on here, this is this one right here, and we're going to say no because we want to keep it on. But now we know that everything is active. And one thing you could do, test it yourself. Now register, and then see in 45 minutes, do you receive that text? I highly recommend that. So there is your whole, starting from a landing page that goes to signing them in. They go into your kvCORE. Now they get all this data and this information right at their fingertips while they walk around, saving you plenty of dollars of printing costs and time, and it's all right at their fingertips, which they love, and it's not as invasive. And then, in the meantime, kvCORE is running its system because they registered, and they are going to come into your system, and it will send them a text 45 minutes after they register. Then that last part, again, remember we created, we'll go back into the landing pages. I'll go back into the squeeze pages, Go back into the squeeze pages in the history, and we created that open house squeeze page, and that's this multi-property one right here. So we can copy that link, and we will post that right back up here just to make sure it's the right one. And it is the right one. It's the open house one for the open houses coming up. And this one, again, if you click somewhere outside of, some of these areas, you can create a QR code for that image and print that out and scan that and say, as they're leaving, I appreciate you being here. Would you like to see any other open houses? I'll send it right to your phone. Boom, they scan it and they go. And you are just making a huge difference in their life. And the final part of this, I know it went just a little bit over 30 minutes, It is so worth it for this. But the final part of this is the follow-up. And the follow-up could be, here's an example of a agent who did exactly this, and they had 5 people at their open house. This is back earlier in the year when not everybody was going and weather might have prevented it. But they had 5 at the open house. One of them made an offer on the home. So 4 other visitors to the open house missed out on that home. They didn't get it. It went under contract. Then, because they are in your system, the follow-up, so say you had the open house on Saturday, offer comes in Saturday night, it's accepted Sunday night. On Monday, follow up with the people who are at your open house and make them a squeeze page, a multi-property squeeze page with other homes that are very similar. Maybe it's a 4-bed, 3-bath at $500,000. Send them, make them a specific list of those in that area, a squeeze page, and text it to them or email it to them and say, this one did go under contract, but here are some others, and I'd love to find out more information on them if you're interested, and set up a showing. And you follow up. And I know of an agent who did that, and he went from selling, getting that under contract, 1 at the open house, to getting 3 others under contract because he followed up with them just by creating this. So he had them in his system, and then following up Monday, a couple days later, with more properties that checked their boxes, and they loved it. So there you go. I cannot wait to hear your success stories. It is a great opportunity to set up automation, especially if you have a lot of people coming to your open houses and you don't want to miss on getting some sort of data and new leads out of it. And anything you need, you can always reach out to me and email me, and we'll get you going. kvCORE can do everything you want, and it can be personalized and customized just for you. I appreciate your time. Keep kicking butt, and I'm proud of you for going through this, and I cannot wait to hear how well it goes for you.